Just hold on for a little second. We are just setting up the camera before we start.
Wow. Oh, are you seriously on the right panel? You know there is the VIP panel up there. Anyways, welcome to the Fallout Equestria game panel by the Overmare Studios. To start off, we will just go through a short version of what we are going to do today and tell you about. It's a Mac, I'm not used to Macs. Sorry. Okay, so to start off, we will introduce ourselves, tell a little bit about the project, and so on. And after that, something most likely what everyone here is waiting for, some gameplay video. Unfortunately, we won't be able to have a live demo today, but bear with us. We only got the video done 2 hours ago. And to finish off, we will have a Q&A session, so you guys can ask us any questions you have in mind. So on. So, my name is TOmS, or I go by the nick Dragmaster on the internet, and I am the project director of the Overmare Studios, which basically means that my job is to keep track of what everyone is doing and make sure they are not just sitting around and throwing their thumbs and being lazy, which means everyone knows me as the party pooper. And also, the drag doesn't come from drag queen, but also the party pooper.
I'm Hamish Milne, the other director and lead programmer. Although I've been doing less of the directing and more of the programming recently, it has to be said.
I'm Adam Sporka, or Adam J, and I'm responsible for music on the game. I'm a music lead, and I'm basically responsible for writing music and for having other people collaborate on the music. And we have a team of 6 people at this point. So yeah.
You kind of skipped me there.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, my name is Niko Korhonen, also known as Nahka, and you guys probably know me the best from the Pony overhaul models for Source Filmmaker and Garisman. And I'm the 3D and testing team lead in this project.
And as for the team as a whole, we have around 60 people from all around the world, from at least 7 different time zones, working on the project. And each of us have varying professional expertise, as you probably figured by now. And we are working on a standalone game called Fallout Equestria, based on the same pick of the same name. And our project is completely non-profit. We don't accept any donations or anything like that, just so we can stay legal and other stuff like that.
Do you accept help on code and so on?
Yes, we will accept application. Also food.
There was a question, if you accept bottle cap donations.
Yes.
How about NCR money?
Maybe.
The exchange rate's a lot lower, so...
Yeah.
Can you announce Fallout 4 work?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so for those who don't know what the FIC is about, it's basically a crossover between the Fallout series and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And it was written by Kkat or Kkat, I don't know how it's said.
Kkat.
Okay, Kkat then. Well, it's basically goes like this, that the land of Equestria has been basically destroyed by a nuclear war between zebras and ponies. And during the war, the Earth was going through kind of like, how would I say, 1960s era with high advanced technology.
Atomic bomb, so to speak. And the war is roughly based on the Chinese-USA wars from Fallout 3, obviously. And instead of nukes, there are mega spells, which are just bigger spells that annihilate everything.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah.
And well, the whole style is kind of like a well, mix very advanced robotics with a very old 60s style. So very vintage look, but still stuff is something we can't understand. And also magic. And
Yeah, you can.
well, yeah, I'll continue. Well, the war basically ended 200 years ago in the fan fiction by the destruction of the both parties. And these survivors survived only because of the underground stables, which are basically the same as the vaults in Fallout. And the wasteland, aka the old Equestria, was basically inhabitable for the most part. And the ponies have just, well, recently started coming up from the stables.
However, something worth noting is that even though large parts of the wasteland are inhabitable and full of radiation and whatnot, in our game it will be far from dead. There will be vegetation all around and green, like not in the same amount of course as in normal Equestria, but like there are stuff living everywhere and there will be wildlife and so on. It won't be all just grey and brown.
We're kind of taking inspiration from places like Chernobyl, which are basically bathing in radiation, but there's still a lot of plant life, and some plants have even evolved, like mushrooms in the reactor 4, that they can use magic radiation and convert it to energy.
So, as we mentioned, we are going to be making a video game adaptation of this wonderful novel. It's going to be a 3D open world first or third person RPG, depending on how you want to view it. And we're going to be taking pretty heavy inspiration from the recent Fallout games and, say, the Elder Scrolls, things like that. But we are going to be developing everything from the ground up, and we're going to try and make it a unique experience, rather than just putting ponies into Fallout.
Yeah, we are making our own game. We are not making just another Fallout.
And for those of you who have read the book and like are curious about how the story will play out, yes, you will be able to play the game exactly as it goes in the book with small adaptations because of the change of the mediums. But there will also be multiple completely different endings, not just tinting the screen to red or blue or green. And there, obviously, since this is a Fallout game and we are taking inspiration from them, there will be a considerable amount of customization. This includes, for character customization, this includes stuff like facial features, your size, mane and hairstyle, your colors, and stuff like that. But you won't be able to select your race, unfortunately.
How about a beard?
We have not actually been decided on that yet. Maybe.
Most likely. I mean, it's completely possible.
Yeah. And there, like, you will also be able to customize your weapons to some extent, like adding on silencer and different scopes, and like just like changing the actual frame and stuff like that. Exact details are to be decided, but there will be considerable amount of them. And obviously there will be a large collection of weapons and spells. Currently we have around 11 spells planned to be implemented in the game, and all of them will, actually sorry, it was 9 spells. All of them will have several upgrades to them that might even completely change how the spell works. Is there a question?
Are you planning on making the game moddable by the Fallout Equestria content?
We will do our best to make that possible, but however we are not yet be able to say for certain like how extensive that will be. We will try to make it as moddable as possible, but we don't know yet, and we would like to actually finish the game first.
if anyone's interested in some technical details about that, then you can talk to me after the panel.
Yeah.
I ask about various augmentations. For example, like in Project Horizons, we see them a lot. Will there be a possibility to use the body augmentations like here or like in Fallout New Vegas?
Can you use what? Sorry.
I'm speaking.
You mean augmentations, as in robotics?
As,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
as in various, for example, chips to boost the intellect, stats especially. You may remember this from New Vegas, from one of the missions in New Vegas. Or, for example, like power armor style augmentations.
We will be planning on having augmentations, but we haven't yet talked too extensively about what exactly they will be. But yes, there will be some amount of them. And,
how about skills and perks? Are they going to be in the game?
yes, they will be in the game, and if you don't mind, like, save the questions for the QA session at the end.
Okay.
If it's not.
I guess we can say in short that you can decide yourself how you play the game.
Exactly.
Okay, now the good part, which you probably have been waiting about our much hyped video. I have to make a small confession though. So when we came here a few days ago, came together and we noticed that basically everything broke. And we have been working on the past few days just trying to make the game work, even the simple parts. And we were planning on showing you all kinds of great stuff. But due to these technical problems, we couldn't really do it. I mean, Drag and Hamish have been working on fixing the game so much that even I am exhausted.
Murphy, everyone, remember it. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and that was definitely the case here.
Yeah. So consider this as something our sleep-deprived minds put together just for your enjoyment, and we probably are going to have the proper, more polished video up in maybe a few weeks. Hard to say at this point.
But nonetheless, we hope you enjoy what we have to show this time around. So, without further ado,
oh, and just a heads up, creepy stairs imminent.
What are you doing up at this hour? At this hour of night? Oh, ugh. Go back to bed, baby girl. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice. Oh, my beautiful little baby. Mommy's got a hangover. Hangover. Anti-hangover boo. Mommy's sort of good stuff, alright?
you all right? Just maintenance, dear. It's all just so drab, isn't it? It's all so soulless and dull. You're not driving it up nicely. My pickbuck is chafing my leg horribly. Could you replace the padding? No. No, that's fine. No need to rush yourself. I can wait until tomorrow. I just need to rest my leg a little. Let the ointment sink in. Goodbye. And good luck with everything.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Wait, doesn't exist here. Oh, sweet son butt. The one singing chick is gone.
To our defense, we can say that pretty much everything is going to change.
And that final bit of voice acting was done by our design team leader, Jack.
Yeah, so we're at the situation that we have a lot of content already, which is, usually you would have a framework and then you wouldn't have the content. We're kind of, we have a voice acting for stable done, we have music done, we have pretty much a lot of 3D models done. We need to redo the textures of the walls separately because these are just placeholders.
Correction, not the textures. We are going to remake the whole wall model.
Yes.
Yep.
True. Yes.
Question about that 3D animated texture artist. Do you have any? I think it would be a good idea if someone wanted to ask a question because.
Yeah, there.
Working. So
The mic in front is working, so you can use that. Yeah.
Well, I guess I can just walk around and pass the mic.
You walk around anyway, so you might as well.
You show little big feedbacks for left hoops, for moves in right hoops.
Yes, we are aware of that, but unfortunately, if we put the feedback on the right hoop, we would have to make a separate version of all the armor models to make sure that there is enough room for it. Which means that unfortunately, at least for now, the feedback will be on the left hoop because it will be on the left hoop for the most of the ponies.
I noticed the term in the gameplay video was apparently unlocked already. So how is the lock picking and hacking going to work in the game?
We are still hacking is most likely going to work in a similar manner as in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Our lock picking we are still a little bit deciding on, but it's most likely not going to be too much different from what it's in Fallout and New Vegas.
I'm not sure if it's changed, I couldn't tell, but from one of the earlier videos, one of the complaints I heard a lot was that the walking sound was really loud and repetitive. Has that changed since? I couldn't tell. So.
Yes, it has been changed, and if it wasn't clear on the video, that's because it was one of the things that broke. So we had to do a little improvisation fixing on that part. But yes, like we read all of the comments we get, and we take the feedback seriously. So that has been worked on a lot by our sound effects team.
And the blinking. There is actually blinking in the game, I just forgot to add it in. Very sorry.
It would have been literally one line of code, but we forgot it.
I was asleep, and they didn't wake me up.
About having 2D artists, do that mean loading screens, posters, and things like that? Don't 3D model textures, but it's all kind of art. What you need in this game?
Yes, that's one of the things that 2D artists do, and also like to concept all of the new stuff we need for 3D modelers. Some of the like more regular stuff is self-explanatory and our 3D modelers can handle them themselves. But stuff like bitbug and terminals and our unique stuff need to be concepted and somehow, in some situations, adapted to ponies.
It's also worth pointing out that in most cases the 3D modelers will texture their own models. So yeah.
What kind of help do you need currently? Most?
Most programming. Programming will be one of the things, and also we do need a lot of 3D modelers and animators simply for the scale of the things. While our current team is working consistently, we still need
do you have any use for 2D animators?
Currently, no, unfortunately. There won't really be much of 2D animation in the game.
Alright.
What do you guys do for version control? Because like this story, like, you came here and realized that the build is broken and you had to spend time to fix it. What prevented you from just going back to an earlier version that might not be like wouldn't have all the bells and whistles but would work?
Simply because some of the stuff that were missing on the earlier builds was something that we needed. Like the lip syncing was one of the things that wasn't completely finished, and when we finished it, it broke down, so we had to fix that.
And to be honest, there was few enough bells and whistles as it is. I mean, we don't want to cut down any more than that.
By the way, the lip syncing is automatic.
Yeah, it was. It's automatically processed, which is good because we have a lot of dialogue planned.
And by automatic, it means that basically the script team makes all of the dialogue files in chat matter for those of you who know it, and then we record the lines, and we simply like it connects all of them automatically and generates all the lip sync automatically. So it's literally a couple of buttons in the code.
So you were saying you need a lot of 3D modelers and animators in this stage. What kind of 3D modeling software and animating software would they have to be skilled with for you to hire them actually?
I'll let Nahka answer that.
There actually isn't any software requirements. All you need to do is know how to use the tools you prefer, and they must be able to export the Autodesk FBX file format. And for the textures, anything goes as long as the textures are in DGA format.
And also for those of you who have been following the project already know, but we are also able to get animations from Source Filmmaker.
Oh yeah, forgot to mention that. So we actually have some skilled SFM animators in the team already. So we'll see how things go later on. They have been a little bit inactive, but they promise they will do better.
Well, you said that the demo broke, so what mechanics actually were you going to show us, and what mechanics are you currently working on which are partially done or mostly done? And do you have something that's almost everything is unfinished?
The original plan was to show kind of like a living and breathing Staple 2. So it would have been pretty much the same as this, but a lot more polished. There would have been more NPCs and stuff like that. And of course the ponies would have had actual conversation animations, and they would have shown emotions and blinking and stuff like that. But what we can do.
I'm just wondering that, I mean, everybody who has read the FIG actually know the little Macintosh revolver. And I was just thinking, are the weapon system gonna like, is it gonna be leveled out kind of like in Fallout, so that you have a gun and it's still kind of usable towards the end game?
Yes, we will try to balance everything so that even the first gun you get in the game, or any of the first guns, you will be able to use them even towards the end game. Of course, it will be much more difficult, but it's still like you will be able to survive with that, no problem.
Yeah, I was wondering about when playing first person, is the body rendered so it casts a shadow?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't quite catch that.
When playing first person...
I can answer, I heard.
Okay.
Yeah, the pony model isn't any different than the rest of the model, so you should be able to see your own shadow.
An extensive question. Is it possible to see your own body as well?
Your forehooves, yes.
Good. I like that kind of immersion. Thank you.
Since basically the only difference between the first and third person is the position of the camera.
About talking about the weapons and equipment, there are many weapons you said. Is there some weapons you can only use with battle stats and some weapons with telekinesis or mouth hold or something like that?
Well, for the player will only be able to hold weapons with telekinesis. The various NPCs will have battle saddles, mouse grips and that sort of thing, and the reason for this is basically just animation and how it looks from a first-person perspective. It would be really awkward if it was in your mouth or in a battle saddle. And we tried various ways around it, and we just found the easiest way is just to just have it hovering with telekinesis. It won't use any strain or energy to do that, but and it will act in the same way as you expect, but it just looks a lot better from that perspective.
Do this mean you may be possible cannot wear miniguns or Batmans or missile launchers or something big weapons like that?
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
We
definitely have plans for that, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Will there be any multiplayer? Online multiplayer?
No, unfortunately.
Do you have any estimate for when this open beta or some alpha is released? Hopefully before the Christmas, but even that will probably change. Or we don't. Yeah. It's hard to say. Like when we are satisfied enough that it won't break down horribly the whole time, and it has enough content for you guys to enjoy. But yes, there will be a open demo at some point.
Yeah, at least the end of the year is going to be our own personal goal.
So you said that 3D modelers, they don't have any program limitations and specs to 2D modeler, 2D artists also. And how do you actually manage to make everything in the same style? Because, well, every artist works in his own different style, and do they just work each person on his own single model, or do leads somehow just give tasks and different people work on one model?
Well, in 2D case, the artists can pretty much stick to their own style, because most of the 2D artists mostly make only the model concepts. But the 3D artists, we have to keep a close eye on their models and try to, how do I say, steer them to the right direction. And it's usually pretty easy for us because we have to, how do I say it? We have to keep the requirements to get in the team pretty low, so we do get anyone into the team. So we actually train them kind of like ourselves.
Yeah, and actually, the same thing is pretty much with the music that we, the similar thing that you have multiple people working on different tracks. So we pretty much split the work by by individual tracks, and then we just make sure that we are using similar processes, similar programs, similar tools to create the sound, and then polish it and going back and forth and stuff like that.
Yeah, we want to keep the modelers and musicians, all the artists, to stick to the tools they know and just make sure they do their job properly that way.
We saw in the previous video the telekinesis. I was wondering just how much of the world is intended to be movable.
Anything that's not bolted down or part of the scenery. In theory, it depends on how good you are at that particular spell and magic in general. No, because that would be part of the scenery, I'm afraid.
I want to drop a boxcar on it.
We'll see.
Unfortunately, you most likely won't be able to do that. It will become a bit overpowered.
Some of us are still pretty much fighting with the skin of our teeth, just to keep elements like that in the game, but no promises.
In regards for equipment, clothing and armor, do you have any plans on making I'm not sure if you're aware of Protect Nevada for New Vegas? The mod actually allows you to, for your equipment, say power armor, you actually have the first person with from inside the helmet.
Do you mean if we will have a visual aspect like that?
Yeah.
Currently, we don't have plans for that, but who knows? Maybe in the future. It's not shut out or anything.
You've told that you're now working at around 11 spells that could be used in the game. Can you tell us which these spells are? Or is it a secret for now?
I actually mixed the word. It was around 9 spells, and I can name you some. There is Telekinesis, obviously, Shield spell, Regeneration, which is basically a healing spell, Magic Missile, Magic Mines, can't remember what the name for that is, Anesthetic spell, and Illusion spell, and there was something else.
Was it like a calm and frenzy one, what we call Harmony in Discord, right?
Oh yeah, well, Discord one is in.
Wasn't it? I'm not sure what it was called. Yeah, Harmony and Frenzy or something like that.
Yeah, there will be the support kind of spell that allows you to aid your friends and boost their stats and stuff like that. And it will have more than stats boosts, but to be honest, I can't remember the exact details of all the upgrades on that spell. And there was probably some spell I forgot. I apologize for that.
Keep in mind that these are all just early designs, so whatever is not coded in the game is most likely to change.
And even that will probably change.
Regarding the pig, I know the game will could go with the pig, but will you have side quests outside from the pig? Meaning, will you have original content?
Yes, we will have considerable amount of side quests, and the main quest will also have several branches, so to speak.
And of course, you can, as I said, we do have multiple endings. You don't have to follow the path of Little Pip in the fanfic. You can, if you want, completely subvert it with details of that yet to be revealed. But we're quite excited for it.
Yeah, and yeah, as said, there will be a lot of side quests that are not related to the main quests, but can affect it, and also faction quests. And this guy here has waited for a long while. And
oh, sorry.
Well, my question is not much, but I was kind of curious when I saw the animation. Well, about the face expressions, will it be much more extensive use of facial expressions that we always experience when it comes to Source, the filmmaker, or is it going to be the same amount, or?
Well, I'm the guy answering that. Well, since I'm the one who made the Source ponies, the Source filmmaker animators use these days pretty extensively. I'm trying to make the same quality as in the Source filmmaker, and maybe even better. But I just can't make them all at once. We have to test them every once in a while.
And unfortunately, you are not able to import the facial animations from Source filmmaker.
Oh yeah.
What type of animation style you are using? Skeleton or just a normal wax style, where it's not a bone inside? What type of animation you are using?
You mean for all animations?
Yes, and characters.
We're using bone or skeletal animations in pretty much all full body movement and ears and stuff like that. Also hairs have so-called jiggle bones, so they kind of like animate on their own. But facial animations, expressions and stuff like that are made using so-called morphs or keyframes.
Blend shapes.
Yeah, those. So basically they are just moving points around in straight lines.
Are you already working on the DJ Pon Free radio, or it's just on the to-do list?
Well, we have, yes, it's a fallout, right? So we have to have songs. So we have two songs produced. They're on our SoundCloud and on our channel on YouTube. And we have a couple more actually in the production, and a couple more in like in like early concept. So it takes some time to produce a song. It took us let's say 8 months to produce that round, but it's as Daniel Ingram said yesterday, it is a kind of that you start with the song and you like produce it, and you would start meanwhile with another, and so it's like a kind of a continuous pipeline which is in parallel. So yes, we plan at least 5 big band songs, which would be original content with written in church as Velvet Remedy, and then we will have some instrumental pieces as well. Yes, and there might be dubstep at some point, but we're not sure yet.
I really hope Jack doesn't hear that one. He's going to be.
Yes, right.
So there will be obviously the one storyline that you can affect, but will there be any other storylines that are totally different and maybe not even related to the main one, like as big as you could play that instead of the original one? But yeah, will there be any of that?
There won't be like any as large storylines as the main quest, but like I said, the main quest is branching a lot, and there will be multiple completely different endings. So essentially, you would be able to play several completely different games in that regards. Did that answer your question?
Close now.
Yes, a couple of questions. First, how large will the game world be? Second, how many hours can we expect from the game? And thirdly, will there be any environment effects like rain, wind, etc.?
By large, do you mean like the file size?
No, like how large, like let's say how long will it take to go from the other end of the map to the other?
Like in square miles?
Yeah.
We have absolutely no idea at this point.
Big.
Yeah, it's going to be big, that much we know. And what were the other questions? Sorry, my memory is very...
Will there be any environmental effects?
Yes, there will be several environmental effects, and like there will be the weather will vary between different locations. Like there will be maybe blizzard in some areas and sandstorm in other and stuff like that, and it will all be dynamic.
And how many hours can we expect from it?
From the game?
Yeah.
That's also something we have absolutely no idea, but hopefully at least the same amount as Fallout games, or close at least.
we're kind of aiming at 20 hours, but it's just a rough estimate.
For the main quest. On the subject of environmental effects, the day-night cycle would be really cool if you could possibly do something like that. Yes, there will be a day-night cycle, definitely. Nice.
Anyone else?
Yep. Behind you.
Gentleman in front.
Ah, there we go.
One question. One problem about the Bethesda's Fallout and Elder Scrolls Idle New Ones is in my option that there is level scaling. Is here some kind of this level scaling about you are 3 or 4 leveled and there are small weapons, weak enemies and things like that, and when you are 20 level or something like that, there is super alicorns or something like that. Is there any kind of level scaling?
Yes, there will be a level scaling, and we try to make it so that even simple raiders and stuff like that aren't something like that you can just walk in the middle of 30 of them at the end game and not feel a thing. Like they will still be a threat at the end game, obviously not as big of a threat when you're carrying miniguns and whatnot. But yes, they will still be able to kill you.
Okay, that's very nice to hear, because in my option, level scaling in Bethesda's games is, it makes it too easy in the end, but it's nice to hear that you have this concept of your.
Yeah, actually, on the terms of difficulty, so will there be different difficulty, or settings, different difficulties, and what will, if there are planned to be, what will the effect? Will they be just scaling damage and hit points, or maybe they will be influencing artificial intelligence of some sort?
The actual difficulty levels will at the moment mostly focus on stuff like damage and health and stuff like that. But we are trying to figure out ways to make it more interesting. But unfortunately, artificial intelligence isn't something we really are able to make scaling in that effect. It's going to be hard enough to make the actual AI with what we have planned, and making that scaling will be a lot harder even still. And there will also be a hardcore mode which will be available at all difficulty levels, and that will be it will be a lot more extensive than in Fallout games. It's just not just the health and hunger, thirst and so on, but more details of that to come.
One example of things you could change things will change in difficulty is when you open the pit bug. On easier difficulties, it will obviously pause the game. On hard difficulties, it won't, so you can still be shot while you're looking for your stim packs in your inventory, for example.
Oh, wow, nice.
About this customizing the player pony. Will the cutie mark, can you customize that, or?
Unfortunately, you won't be able to customize your cutie mark since you are playing as Little Pip, but how you play as Little Pip is up to you. And this is because of multiple things, such as it allows us to actually call the player by name, which makes usually a lot more immersive experience than everyone calling you a stable dweller or stuff like that throughout the entire game. It will make it feel like there is actually a person there, not just an object.
And with regards to the cutie marks, that's one of the elements in the story, actually, the idea that you don't choose your cutie mark, you are sort of given this destiny. And that's something we're trying to follow a little bit in the game as well.
You may have to mod the game to change the cutie mark, though.
I have one question in terms of the gameplay itself, but I don't think I think it's more with the game design. You may know that, for example, in Wolfenstein for PlayStation 4, you can use PlayStation Vita as for inventory for the map. Is there any hope that there will be a similar feature in this game, so we can like use a smartphone or some other device as a peep bug to just strap it to our hand and use it like it should be used in the real Fallout?
I honestly highly doubt that. The game is mainly developed for PC and Mac and Linux, and like taking any like mobile into account will make it a lot more work for us. Even though I admit that would be a cool feature, but we are still a fan project and we don't have unlimited resources.
We'll have to hope for a really talented modder, if it's even possible.
Okay, I have two questions. The first, how is magic implemented in the game? Is it like in Elder Scrolls that you combine it with your weaponry, or is it more like an equipable thing? And the second one, is gore implemented in the game?
To answer the last question first, yes, there will be gore, and since obviously the story either isn't exactly family friendly, and I completely lost my train of thought.
Magic, are you going to combine magic and weapons?
There will be some things you can do to weapons, such as add potions and stuff like that. However, spells themselves will be considered weapons of their own, since they are going to be so powerful.
But we can, correct me if I'm wrong, but we can use, say, a one-handed weapon and a spell.
Yes, you will be able to use a spell and a weapon at the same time, but each of them will basically take a weapon slot, so to speak.
Okay, any other questions?
I have one. How much time do we have left?
I think we're kind of running out.
I think we are
running out of time.
We're
Right?
over time.
Yeah.
But no one has told us to stop yet, so...
Yeah. If any staff members, if we're cutting into someone's time, then please go and... We are? Okay.
Could you say that again?
I was told that the Overmare Studios are in priority lines and Warcraft, but priority lines.
Oh shit, I actually need to go now to my session. I'm terribly sorry, I need to leave now, but I will leave you with the Hamish, Kkat and AJ.
Okay, any more questions?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Will there be any made-up language for some of the enemies and
Made-up language. We haven't been thinking about that, but it's kind of an obvious. Yes, it's a really good question actually. Did we plan such a thing?
Well, if anyone is going to do it, it'll probably be you, wouldn't it?
I am kind of a hobbyist linguist, but if there's a kind of a linguist person in the audience who is really interested in this thing and have some experience with that, why not, right? We can use all the help.
Well, the zebra language it will be.
Zebra language, that's yes, there has to be a zebra language, right? The thing is that we're pretty much developing the content of the Stable 2, and we have pretty much the idea how the storyline is going to happen, but a language is more like a prop, so that's we haven't been really thinking about that yet. But thanks for this question. Yeah, it's really interesting.
yeah.
Thank you.
To which point or situation will the enemies be scripted? Like, for example, if they will be scripted for a level of the player, that at the level 1 there will be only basic enemies, and for the level 50 there will be overpowered enemies, so the difficulty will be always improving. Or will they be scripted for a place, for example, like in New Vegas, that on level 1 you can encounter a death clause, or etc.?
You'd really have to ask Drag that, but to the best of my knowledge, we are going to scale difficulty as mentioned before. However, there is definitely going to be some location limitations as well. Like, you're not going to constantly find like really powerful enemies everywhere just because you are a certain level, if you see what I mean. So we're going to try and make it a bit more immersive in that respect, but difficulty will certainly scale.
I was thinking, will you add original locations to the map? Things that aren't mentioned in Kkat's Fig, for example?
Absolutely. We've got a lot planned for that, actually. There's definitely going to be some unique locations there, and large ones as well.
I was wondering, at what point you're actually intending to make it playable? Not as in time-wise, but as in during the development. I mean, like, are you going to make it playable when you've got the world, or when you've got everything done?
We're planning to release. What we're going to do is we're going to release the first area, which is Stable 2. Basically, when it's polished enough to be released, and at that point it will be playable for everyone. If that's what you were asking, was it?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Can you answer the rest of the questions on your Facebook or Twitter?
Yeah, Twitter, Facebook, ours. Sorry, what was the question?
Can you answer questions on Twitter and Facebook? And the answer is yes.
Of course.
I don't see why not.
Oh yeah.
Because we're really running out of time.
Right then.
Oh yeah. If we can wrap it up now, then yeah, that's fine.
What's
Yeah.
the Twitter name?
It's at Overmare Studios, and Facebook is facebook.com/Overmare Studios.
Right. Pretty much. The links are here pretty much, so all the links are here. Right.
If you just go on the overmare.com, that has links to all the social media stuff, so yeah.
Of course, if you...
Thank you very much.